Good morning, class.
Morning, ma'am.
So, ayan. So, our topic for today is all about percent. So, the following are the learning outcomes. So, first one is identify the base, percentage, and rate. So, number two is solve the equations involving percentage using appropriate strategy. So, let's first have that. So, since our last lesson is all about the relationship of percent to fractions, ratios, and decimal numbers, let us see if you really understood and still remember our discussion by answering this slide. So, can anyone identify the ratio, fraction, decimal, and percent? But before that, as you can see, this figure is composed of 100 small squares, and there are 50 squares that are shaded red. Can someone identify the ratio, fraction, decimal, percent of these shaded parts or the shaded squares from the total number of squares?
Ma'am, so the ratio is 50 by 100, and the fraction is 50 over 100, and just simplify to 5 over 10 or 1 half. And the decimal is 0. Point 50, and para po makuha ang percentage is remove lang po natin yung point dalawang beses sa right. So, lagyan natin ng percentage sign and then kakamove po tayo sa sagot. Percent.
So that's right. So next, what are your insights about this code? Do you agree with this?
For me, ma'am, agree po ako sa quotation na ito na math is everywhere. Kasi sa everyday living po natin, magagamit po natin siya, especially po sa pamimili. Yan.
Thank you for your insight, Mister. So in today's lesson, you will be able to understand more about the importance of understanding the role of percentage, wherein it was widely used in our day-to-day living. Just like when we are buying groceries, the discounts when there is a feeding sale at the mall, restaurant promos when we deposit at the bank, and many more. So let's proceed to our discussion proper. So percent comes from the Latin word per centum, and centum means 100. So for example, a century is 100. So we have already discussed this on our previous lesson. But in today's lesson, we will just be dealing with the percent that is only 1 to 100. So as you can see, 25% here is, and the base is 8 and the 2 is the percentage. So 25% is the rate and it is usually given as, while 8 is the base and it is a whole number which we take the percent, and lastly is the percentage. It means that it is part of the whole. So kung tatagalogin natin to, 25% ng 8 ay 2. Okay, next. Let's analyze this one. So, a survey conducted among 120 grade 5 pupils of Piazza Elementary showed that 45% like swimming, and they found that 54 out of 120 pupils like swimming. So, how can you identify the rate, base, and the percentage? So, we can identify the rate, base, and the percentage using the Tietjens triangle. So, here is the Tietjens triangle. Tietjens triangle consists of 3 parts. So up on the upper part is the percentage, and under the percentage is the rate and the base. So titingnan natin sa mga sumunod na slides kung saan natin siya magagamit. So let's go back to the example a while ago. So a survey conducted among 120 grade 5 pupils of Yasu Elementary School showed that 45% like swimming, and they found that 54 out of 120 people like swimming. So, and can anyone identify the percentage rate based on the what we have discussed on the previous slide?
Ma'am?
Okay, go ahead.
So, ang rate po is yung 45%.
Okay.
ang base po ay 120 and then the percentage po ay 154.
Okay. So how did we come up with the percentage na 54? So first we must first list the given, the rate, base. So we will just list down the three, and this will be the formula of getting the percentage. So as you can see, the base is 120 and the rate is 0.45. So how did we come up with the 0.45? So all that before multiplying the two is change first the rate into decimal. So after that, we will now just proceed on multiplying these two, and 120 times 0.45 is 54. So another example, can someone identify the percentage rate and the base?
So, ma'am, ang rate po is yung 80% and the base is 9,475 and the percentage is 7,580.
So that's right. So 80% is the rate because it is given as percent, while 9,475 is the base kasi dito natin kukuhain yung hinahanap na rate, and while 7,580 is the percentage. So if we will just analyze this, 80% ng 9,475 is 7,580. And we can get this through using the Kitchen's triangle. So identify the given and find the percent. To analyze this question, and you will answer this. Okay, anyone who can answer this?
So, ma'am,
Okay.
so number 1, how much money did her mother give her? So, 150 pesos po para sa kanyang allowance. And number 2, how many percent did Dora spend? So, nag-spend po siya ng 70% of her money for spending food. And then, how much money did she spend? So, nag-spend po siya ng 105 pesos.
Okay. So from these three, can you please identify yung number 1, is that rate, base, or the percentage?
So, question number 1 is for the base. And then, number 2 question is for the rate. And number 3 is for the percentage.
That's right. Very good. So what if there is a missing element to supply your Kitchen's triangle? What will you do? So we have 3 cases that usually arise in dealing with the percentage, and they are as follows. So case 1, when the base and the rate are given, and we will now look for the percentage. So just like this example. Number 2 is when the base and the percentage are known, and we will now just look for the rate. So just like this one. This is the base and this is the percentage. Case number 3 is when percentage and the rate are known, and we will now look for the base. So this one is the rate and this one is the percentage. So let's proceed. So to get the missing element, pag may encounter kayong ganon, we have this formula. This one for the percentage, base, and the rate. So for the percentage, all you need to do is multiply these two, rate and the base. And for the base, when the base is missing, you will now just divide the percentage and the rate. And for the rate, if the rate is missing, all you need to do is divide the percentage and the base. So you must always remember, change first the percent into decimal. So for your activity, so for the missing element. So this is just the examples on the cases.
So, number 1 po is 6% of 50 is 3.
Paano na tayo nag-come up sa 3?
So, pinag-times po natin yung rate
And
base.
number 2?
So, number 2 is 20 is what percent of 60 is 3.33.
33.33.
So, number 3, ang sagot po niya is 20.
Okay. The number 5, so 25% of 20 is 5. So that's correct. So with that, we can say that the rate is the number written with the word percent or with the symbol percent. Diba? And for the base, it is the total it is the number that usually follows the phrase percent of or percent of. So for the percentage, it is the part of the whole. And for the Tietjens triangle, we use the Tietjens triangle to identify the rate, the base, and the percentage. So for your activity, help Boots accomplish everything he needs to do, determine the given, and solve for the answer. So for this, you will just answer this one and look for a partner and discuss your answers with them. Kung parehas ba kayo ng sagot, and kung hindi, you will analyze saan kayo nagkamali. Okay?
So, ma'am, nagkama po kami ng kapartner ko dito sa sagot. So, first, ang ginawa po namin, in-identify po namin yung questions and then yung mga given. So, nanalo po si Boots ng 10,000 pesos sa lottery. So, meron po siyang 10,000 pesos. And then, ni-priority po niyang bayaran yung utang niya na 4,600 pesos. And then, meron po itong rate na 5%. And then, ang 5% po ng 4,600 pesos is 230. So, ipag-add po natin yung 4,600 plus 230. So, ang magiging utang po niya ay 4,830 pesos. And then, kasunod naman po niyang ginawa is mag-grocery. So, ang natitira po niyang pera, so nag-decide po siya sa natitira ng pera niya ay yung 60% ay pang-grocery niya. So, meron po siyang 5,170. So, ang 60% po nun is 3,102. And then, napadaan po siya sa isang appliance store. So, nakita po siya ng isang blender na nagkakahalagang 1,860 pesos. And, may discount po ito na 370. May discount po ito na 20%. So, ang 20% po ng 1,860 is 372. So, 1,860 less ng 372 is equals to 1,488. So, ang pinag-add po natin yung mga nagastos niya, 4,830 plus 3,102 plus 1,488 is 9,420. So, 10,000 minus 9,420 is meron na siya natirang 580. So, ang hinahanap po ng sagot is yung percent po nung natitirang pera na lang. So, pag kinuha po natin, kukuhain po muna natin yung so, ang gagawin po natin ay pag-divide po natin yung 580 sa 10,000 pesos. So, magiging sagot po is 0.058. Then, i-move po natin ng 2 times sa right yung decimal point. And then, mag-add po lang po tayo ng percentage sign. So, ang magiging sagot po is 5.8%.
Okay.
So, ang answer po is Boots spent 4,830 for his debt to Diego and 3,102 for the grocery and 1,488 for his blender and only 5.8% left in his 10,000 pesos.
Okay. So, very good. Your answers with your correct. So, that's the end of our activity. And so, for this, summarize. So, how can you identify the rate, base, and the percent? Ano ang nagamit?
Teach-and triangle po.
Oh. Kapano kapag merong missing na element to supply T-chance triangle? Ano dapat gawin?
So pag nawawala po yung percentage, so ipagta-times po yung base sa rate, and then pag nawawala naman yung base is pagdi-divide mo yung percentage sa rate, and then pag nawawala naman po yung rate is pagdi-divide nyo po yung percentage sa base.
So just write this on your paper. So create your own percentage equation. And you will just make your own equation based on the three that usually arise with dealing with percentage, and identify the rate, base, and percentage, and show your solution on how you come up with the answer. So, saan nga ba natin pwedeng nagagamit ang percent? So, these are the usual activities that we use and apply our knowledge about the percent. Baka pag nagbabudget tayo ng pera, yung report cards natin is naka-percent form din siya kapag may sale and kapag nag-i-invest tayo. So, for your quiz, these have two parts. You will just answer the two. First part is determine the base and percentage based on the problem. And number two is solve for the missing element. Lastly, this will serve as your assignment. So monitor your expenses. So the instruction is, this activity you will need the assistance of your parent or guardian and supply the needed information below. So that's it. That's the end of our lesson. Did you understand our topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any recommendations, suggestions?
None, ma'am.
Okay, so let's meet tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you for listening.